Taylor's already positioned outside and doesn't allow Brian Blades to get in. The ball goes flying in front of him. Jerry Gray is just behind him, picks it off, and runs in 51 yards for the score.
Ties a Pro Bowl record of 1 interception return. Several people. Okoye. Singletary wraps him up at the 17-yard line. Back to the sideline, and Tom Jackson.
Here with Coach Landry, 29 years coaching in the game, and sometimes things turn out the way they're supposed to. This is a good feeling for you?
Oh, a great feeling. I don't think I've ever felt a better thrill than this one. You know, after you spend 40 years in our business and then you have a chance to climax it with this type of thing, it's pretty nice.
Would you trade anything for this?
No, I don't think so. I think that we had a good run, you know, with the Dallas Cowboys. We had our ups and downs, but we had a great run, and I think that's important, and nothing will surpass this right now.
Coach, I think if there's, when I look back and I think about the championship teams that you have, and even when you came up maybe one short, I thought you were about as good as anybody that played this game, especially when we played you back in '77.
Right.
You look at the Niners now. How good?
I think the 49ers are probably one of the 4 best teams I've seen. I think the Packers were a great team. Pittsburgh was a great team. And I think the Cleveland Browns was a great team when I came into the league. And they were all executing it the way San Francisco was this year.
None better than Coach Landry. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you a lot, Tom. Appreciate it very much.
And sort of ironic today, when he was introduced, he got a tremendous ovation of the crowd. There were no Dallas Cowboys in the starting lineup to greet him as the other players were greeted by players of their own team on this field.
A lot of transitions being made in the Cowboy organization. My first Pro Bowl, I played under Tom Landry, and you'd hear about Tom and how stoic he was as an individual, but I'll tell you something. He knew how to coach players. He knew how to win football teams. One of the most fun weeks I've had in my professional career was when I came over here and played under Coach Tom Landry, and I appreciate. Matter of fact, one of the pictures I have hanging at home is a picture of Tom and I on the sidelines. I think a lot of the man. Hated him for a couple of years, I'll tell you, but I have a lot of respect for him.
He's a great man, and certainly it was only a matter of when he was going to quit coaching is when he was going to be elected into the Hall of Fame. On 4th down and long, or excuse me, 4th and 1, Roby will come in to punt for the AFC. They're down 20-7. Speaking of Landry and Dallas, by the way, the Cowboys are keeping 3 of the players in that Minnesota trade for Herschel Walker, so they will lose the draft choices. So it turns out to be a much better deal for Mike Lynn and the Vikings than it might have appeared. They stood to lose all those players and the draft choices on top of it.
Well, I still have a hard time trading off all the players that are going to come up for the Cowboys at some point in time.
Sure.
As opposed to one individual you hang your hat on.
Still 4th down.
To try and carry your team into a championship. And I still do not believe that a running back is going to be good enough to take you to a championship. It's got to be done with quarterbacks.
It will be interesting to watch the Vikings training camp and see how they try to integrate Herschel Walker into that offense. Sky-high punt. Meggett makes the catch. Never had a chance. Webster Slaughter right in his face to make the tackle. A 47-yard punt, no return. 2:27 to go, 3rd quarter. Back in a moment.
If you can hit a softball, you can always hit it better. Ray DeMarini's Reflex Hitting System, only from ESPN, can make you a better, more consistent hitter. For just $29.95, you'll learn hitting techniques to improve your stance, swing, bat speed, and timing.
Get ready to make yourself a better hitter.
Ray DeMarini has been a successful 600-plus hitter from local to national levels of slow-pitch softball. And his exclusive Reflex Hitting System from ESPN Home Video will give you all you need to know for a higher average, greater power, and increased performance, regardless of your size. Be the star of your softball team with the Ray DeMarini Reflex Hitting System for only $29.95 from ESPN Home Video. Call 1-800-554-9000 to order today, or to get your free catalog of videos from ESPN Home Video.
And we shall come up with many, many leads.
She look at
Oh, sorry I'm late. Did I miss anything?
At TNT, you'll find the good stuff all day long.
As you look at the Arizona Memorial in Pearl Harbor on the island of Oahu, welcome back to the Pro Bowl 1990, where the NFC is leading the AFC 20-7 with 2:27 to go third quarter. NFC ball at its own 35-yard line, 1st and 10. Crowd starting to get into it again. They are conducting the wave, and if you can't do the wave in Hawaii, where can you do it? Draw to Dalton Hilliard across the 40 to maybe the 41-yard line. Reports in one of the Buffalo newspapers that Jim Kelly ready to sign an extension, 6 years, $20 million. Are you coming back?
Yeah, I am. I'm really thinking about it. I mean, at that rate, you figure if Kelly's worth that much over 6 years, how about Joe Montana? And Eddie DeBartolo has said he's willing to sit down with Bob Wolf, who represents Joe, and discuss his future. I really believe that if Joe Montana signs a 3-year extension or in addition to his contract, he can play at the level for 3 years. It's got to be a $15 million deal. He's worth, if they're paying $3.5 million for other quarterbacks, Joe Montana could be truly the $5 or $6 million man. He definitely is worth it. Like I said, the way you win championships is you have to have a quarterback who can get it done for you.
Now, Montana certainly fits that category.
The numbers are just absolutely becoming mind-boggling to me, Mike. I mean, to think that in 1982, I had the good fortune of playing on a championship team, and I made, I believe, $235,000. Now, that would be interest for a day on what these guys are drawing a year.
3rd and 3 for Cunningham under pressure, and Howie Long got him with an assist from Rufus Porter.
That's just what the AFC needed. They needed their defense to make a big play so that they can get the ball in some good field position and have a chance to score. Right side of your screen, Howie Long, like we said, back to his full form. By his own admission, said he had himself a great year, and it all had to do with the two factors, Art Shell and being healthy.
That was the second AFC sack, a loss of 15 yards on that play. Rich Camarillo in the Pro Bowl for the second time. Made it with New England in 1983, now a Cardinal.
He's running out of conferences to make it in. He's going to have to go to Europe now.
Free kick to Woodson at the 25. Got a nice block. And tripped up. Boy, nice play there by Chris Spielman. 7-yard return, a 49-yard punt. Be with us on Big Monday. We've got the Big East at 7:30, Seton Hall against Syracuse. Then the Big Ten, Purdue and Northwestern. And we'll top it off at midnight with California Santa Barbara against Santa Clara. Great college basketball schedule. Purdue just lost its first game in the conference over the weekend. One of the aerial views of the stadium and the outskirts of Honolulu.
Josh, what a beautiful place here. And the people of Honolulu and Hawaii, and of course the city have been so wonderful. I mean, it's just a great place to have a game. We had to have a game here every week and let us do it.
Dave Craig back in. They ran some kind of flea flicker, threw the ball away. Keith Millard picks it up. Touchdown! Holy cow!
I told you there'd be trick plays. I just didn't tell you which team they'd have it for.
You're not supposed to trick yourself.
I think they fooled themselves. I think the AFC went into the bag of tricks a little too deep.
That's what Bud thinks.
He's looking at somebody. He's waiting for an explanation.
Seven-yard fumble return does nothing anywhere near the record. Art Still 83 yards in 1985. But Millard doesn't care. He's got his touchdown.
He's
the
thrilled.
NFC defense, or the NFL's defensive player of the year.
I think they're looking at this thing to see if possibly he's offside. Now, David Craig, all right, the ball is on the ground. It was a snap from center. Now, I don't...
Oh, it's kicked.
Dave Craig runs back there like he's still got it.
They're playing soccer.
And then that's exactly right. Matthews kicks it like David Craig. Maybe he lost feeling in his hands. He didn't know it wasn't there.
It looked like one of those old Ruski plays. Lay it on the ground and somebody comes by and picks it up later, but two guys kicked it in between.
There's another look at it. Hits his hands. Now, he doesn't even know he doesn't have it. Now, all of a sudden, Swilling comes in. He kicks it. Millard says, well, it's football. Let me pick it up and run with it.
Millard says, I'll use my hands, thanks.
That's a goal. I mean, that's one.
Well, maybe that wasn't a trick play. Maybe that was just a botched play.
I think botched might be the description of that one.
But Dave Craig didn't even act like he had fumbled the ball. He just kept going back.
I don't know where he thought it went. I mean, maybe his wristbands are a little tight. I'm not sure.
Now, they'll say they reviewed it, and the play stands as called. It's a touchdown for the NFC. About as bizarre as it gets. Murray out of Riffin's hold for the conversion in the NFC. Getting some breathing room. They're now up 27-7. 19 seconds to go, third quarter.
You know, we're talking about free agents, too, Mike. There's Millard, of course, all squared away with his contract. You got some people coming up on the Plan Bs that are I think, some interesting names that we've had a chance to take a look at. Kurt Warner, of course, Seattle. Joe Morris. Of course, Otis Anderson, also unprotected with the Giants. Brent Jones with the 49ers. That's a little bit of a surprise there.
Now, these guys can move with no compensation. They just go to another team. And
Dennis McKinnon with the Bears, another starter. Good kick return, man. Wouldn't be surprised if he winds up someplace. Max Montoya, of course, a Pro Bowler. Doug Smith, who's here.
Mike Lansford, that's a big gamble on the Rams' part. He was so effective for them this year.
I think this is a matter of economics. We saw another one there, Jeff Donaldson with the Houston. He'll wind up in Atlanta because Jerry Glanville loves him.
And Duron Cherry, which really, really shocks me that he is on that list.
Well, again, I think that what the general managers and coaches are doing are looking at the age of the players and the economics. And they're figuring that a guy gets up around 30 years old with the numbers as we, said they're going to be, that somebody won't pick him up at those prices.
Little split kick picked up by Thurman Thomas. Cuts it back and then goes down at the 41. One of the local papers had an article today that the Rams had told Lansford, don't sign with somebody else. We'll re-sign you. We just need a spot on the roster. And, of course, that's illegal. They could be fined very heavily, even lose a draft choice if that's the case. But that was just a report in the paper. We're not saying it's true.
Man, Rich Camarillo is a classic case of that. Here's a guy who makes it to the Pro Bowl and won as an AFC kicker, and then comes back as an NFC kicker. I mean, there's good kickers. There aren't a lot of them out there.
No, but they sure get shuffled around a lot. Craig back in the quarterback to toss to Dickerson. Brought down by Reggie White as he got to the 45-yard line. And that will be the end of the third quarter of the Pro Bowl here in Honolulu. A gain of 4 by Dickerson. And it's 27-7 NFC.
A special thank you to everyone who has made the National Football League United Way Public Service Series possible. Thanks for all those precious moments.
Ready, Johnny? Let's go right.
United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
One of the week's most popular attractions was the NFL charity golf tournament held at the beautiful Sheraton Makaha Valley Resort. That's on the leeward coast of Oahu. Time to search for that fluid swing in February. I couldn't resist the hat, and I couldn't resist my partner either.
You're really funny guy. When do the hats go on sale?
I was sort of proud of this swing. It only went about 45 yards right, hit a tree, and kicked back on the green, but you've seen that one before.
Yeah, but the problem is it ends up 3 feet from the pin. Now, here's a guy who can hit it.
Here's Lawrence. He can flat kill it. That was about 350.
Out of sight. See, you can't see it. You only wait for it to land. That's how far he hits it.
Boy, that boy good. He is good.
And he doesn't putt too badly either. Like a homesick rabbit, knew where it was going. Lawrence Taylor can play. And Lawrence Taylor, 31 years old today, in his 9th Pro Bowl. AFC's got a lot of work to do if they're going to get back into this game. Dickerson trying to get outside and can't. Boy, Jerry Ball really showed you some speed. A nose tackle, outrunning with Dickerson, and wouldn't let him turn the corner.
That's why he's in this game. Look at that, starting to get their jerseys ripped up a little bit. He's got a little holding. They're not doing too much holding. It's not torn off him too bad.
Jerry Ball's gained 65 pounds since he came out of SMU.
I thought you were going to say since he came over here.
No, I've gained 65 pounds since I came over here.
Just sitting around by the old pool, having a few pineapples and a few buffets.
Let's not get Jerry mad at us.
No.
2nd and 8. Excuse me, 3rd and 4. They are 2nd and 8 on 3rd down. Craig over the middle, complete to Thomas. Gray brought him down, but not before he reached the 43. It's a first down, gain of 10.
David Craig has had a lot of success. In the 2nd quarter, he managed to get him in for their only score, and here he has a drive going again. Getting all pumped up about it.
Craig's hit 5 out of 6 passes for 34 yards. The starters struggled today, Cunningham and Moon.
They have, and Rippon has played well as David Craig, and it's amazing. Both Rippon and Craig had taken a long time off. Earlier in the week, both of them commented to me how sore their arms were and how comfortable it was. But by Friday, they were throwing the ball with crispness like it was the middle of the season.
Dickerson, a little hesitation. Reggie White brings him down. Of course, Craig and Rippon were both living in the state of Washington when they got the phone call. They were on the next plane over here. A little chilly in Washington in February. Roger Craig, who we have not seen in this ballgame. I think he's a little bit banged up, and Jerry Rice, his teammate, of course.
He had his right ankle taped up pretty well throughout the course of the week as he practiced. He did practice, but he, in all likelihood, will not see any action. He's just trying to take care of himself. They'll start training again in the week anyway, those two guys. 2nd
and 7. Craig dumps it to Dickerson, all wrapped up by Vaughn Johnson, and then Swilling comes in to help. We earlier showed you the list of the Plan B free agents. Those are the guys who can move to any team as long as they're offered a contract. These are players who are free agents, but if they go to another team, if their current team doesn't keep them, require compensation. Heading the list, Don Mikowski, who had such a great year with the Packers and was scheduled to play in this game, but did not because he was a free agent, didn't want to jeopardize his career. Dave Craig, though, a free agent, he's here. I mean, some outstanding players who are free agents. You get the feeling that nearly all of them will re-sign with their team.
I think so. I think what it is they just waited for the off-season to sit down with their general managers and their teams. You have to realize the Super Bowl was just a week ago. This is the last official game of the NFL season. And, you know, they had actually the most important thing I really believe that the teams had to do was get their 37 protected. They had to get the Plan Bs all squared away. Now they have a chance to sit down and take care of the unsigned.
Of course, there has been precious little movement of restricted free agents under this plan. I think there were only a couple of offers last year. Wilbur Marshall was one 2 years ago.
You know, to call it free agency, it's a plan that's modified for a little bit of movement, but the owners want to keep their good football players, and I think it's great. Now they're at a point where the compensation numbers are getting really up high. Not just for the quarterbacks. Everything is a trickle down. The quarterbacks are going to make $4 and $5 million. Needs a lineman. The guys that take care of them are going to get more, and they're going to want more.
Dickerson got only a yard, and Kevin Green wrapped him up. Clock ticking away, 11:50 to go. in the Pro Bowl in the AFC with a ball down by 20. Craig's moved the team well. You see him checking that wristband for the plays.
I think it's a good way to do it. I would say that every coach that comes over, even as simple as you make it, just make up a little wristband for the quarterbacks to wear, and it helps with the continuity of the offense.
Craig over the middle of the ball, tipped, almost intercepted. McDonald nearly got it after Chris Spielman tipped it. Down to the sideline again, and Tom Jackson.
You know, I know people have heard this before. You're going to be the thin man by the time you retire.
I want to come in next year at 185, and I feel like I can be a better player at that weight.
Quicker?
Yes. More
faster?
Explosive.
That's scary.
Lazy and fast.
Now, how about you?
No,
You lose any weight?
I can't lose any more weight. I'll tell you, I'm going to stay at 215 or get down to 210 and just be as quick as possible. But I tell you, when you lose that kind of weight, you can really have trouble with your hamstrings.
You have not seen a lot of action today. You just kind of...
Well, I sprained my ankle in the Super Bowl in the first quarter, and I didn't want to take a chance of re-injuring again out here. And I'll start my off-season training in a couple of weeks, and I want to be strong.
Niners.
Yeah. 3rd and 11, the screen to Dickerson. It's about 3 yards short of a first down, and I don't know anyone who trains as hard as Roger Craig in the offseason.
Well, Jerry Rice is the other one. I mean, the whole 49er organization, Terrence Flagler is another one. There's a group of about 5 of them that get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to run mountains. I mean, their idea of training is to go out and run 8 miles up a rocky path before breakfast. I'm all for training, but that's a little ridiculous.
I just as soon watch him do it.
Yeah, I'd drive my car up next to it, ride the horse up next to me, or meet him up top for breakfast. I don't mind.
It's one of the things that makes the 49ers such a great organization is they have players like that and leadership all the way to the top of Eddie DeBartolo that makes an attitude like that possible. Craig over the middle, incomplete. Thomas couldn't hold it. McDonald was right there. There's a flag down, and McDonald really upset by it. I think he's got a beat.
No, I think he grabbed him, Mike. I don't think there was any question. David Craig didn't zip that one in there. He threw it a little bit slower, and I think that threw the timing off of the defense.
40, defense. First down.
Now, Tim McDonald, 46.
Watch the lower left side of your screen. See, David just eases this one out. Now, see the right hand? See that? Yeah, you had right hand on the hip.
Oh, come on.
Little hipster. All right, so it was
this is football.
So it was a little interference. Still, it's interference. Tim McDonald, another one of those free agents that we said. But, you know, we brought up the free agents. New Orleans, all 3 of their quarterbacks are free agents. Forcade, Hebert, and Wilson.
After the interference, 1st and 10 at the 18. Dickerson to the 14-yard line. If you look back at Dickerson's career, in '84, he had 2,105 yards. That's #1 all-time. That's mind-boggling. He and O.J. are the only guys that have ever approached that number.
And the thing that's so amazing about Eric Dickerson is his durability. Here is an athlete that shows up, practices hard, works hard. When he comes out on the field, he lays it all out. And the systems have really been set up for him. I talked about Montana being a guy who's in a system that complements him. He has been in systems that complement his running style. And he's been with some great all-pro linemen.
Craig with a pump fake, throws over the middle. Farrell Edmonds unloaded on and couldn't hold the ball. And now they're saying it's down at the 1-yard line.
I guess if you're going to call that down by contact, that's the best description of it.
Vaughn Johnson a little slow getting up. What a shot Farrell Edmonds got at the 1. Ronnie Lott. Oh.
They're going to call it an incompleted pass. He never had possession. Ronnie Lott just continuing to hammer people. Took on Christian Okoye in the 3rd quarter. Now watch this shot he delivers on Farrell Edmonds. Never sees him coming. Look at that. Body totally launched in the air. Then he gets hit by Vaughn Johnson.
Edmonds may have the biggest hands in the National Football League. From the base of his palm to the tip of his fingers, 12 inches. Now watch and see when this ball hits the ground. It's not down yet. Still in the air.
That's an interception.
Oh, that's their ball.
That is an interception.
Sure is.
Yep, the ball never hits the ground. This ball's going over to the NFC.
Ronnie Lott and Vaughn Johnson got the ball before it hit the ground.
It just laid on Lott's back of Lott's knee. Now, that's the way it would normally go, okay?
But this is the Pro Bowl.
But this is the Pro Bowl, and the score is, you know, a little out of hand, 27-7. Watch this. Now, this ball never hits the ground. What? Right on the back. Look. Right there. Look. Right on
After further review, the play stands. Incomplete pass.
No
Third
way.
down. With the 30-second clock operator, please reset the clock to 17 seconds.
Okay.
17 seconds on the 30-second clock.
I'm going to wait till the snap of the ball to say something, okay? I'm just going to wait just a few minutes here, okay? I'm not going to say anything for a second. David, if I was you, I'd run up and snap the ball real quick.
Now, they've already made their decision now. It's 3rd and 6.
Okay.
Well, the AFC could use the break. Craig with time, throws short. Brian Blades to the 7-yard line, finally getting out of the shadow of his older brother, Benny.
If that's what instant replay is going to provide us in the National Football League, it should be gone actually Monday.
I hope they keep it, but that's a bad call.
No, I mean, I think that call is made simply because of, you know, the game, the numbers, the style of game. When you play in the college hula bowl over here, for example, the team that's behind by a certain amount of points, you know, you get to keep kicking to them. So this was a case where the AFC has got a chance to put some points on the board, and I think the decision was good for that reason only.
1st and goal from the 6. We're under 9 minutes. Dickerson ducks under ball and then can't get any more yardage as Spielman and Lott come up to make the tackle.
Eric Dickerson being the workhorse, very much like Barry Sanders has for the NFC today.
Haven't seen much of Brooks and a little bit more of Thurman Thomas. The winner's share in this game is $10,000. The loser's share, $5,000.
6 of 13 plays this drive. Eric Dickerson has touched the football.
And it's been a very effective drive, but taking a lot of time off the clock, and the AFC needs 3 touchdowns.
I really think they're trying to keep the ball away from the NFC.
Craig throws over the middle. Touchdown, Edmonds.
David Craig doing a little fancy dance, a little foot stepping in the pocket to create a throwing lane for the touchdown. David Craig's been very, very impressive here for the AFC.
Sure has.
Completing the 5-yard TD to Farrell Edmonds. There he goes back in the pocket. Wants to work outside. Now just starts, well, maybe I'll run. Well, maybe I won't. Little sidearm shot. Of course, Ronnie Lott's close by again. If there's contact, Lott's never very far away.
Extra point by David Treadwell of the Broncos. That will cut it to 27-14. Craig, 2 drives in this game, both touchdowns.
It starts the moment you start the car. An experience that's distinctly Volkswagen. The quick acceleration, the sense of control, the car's surprising responsiveness as if it were simply an extension of you. There is a word for this driving experience. Fahrvergnügen. Fahrvergnügen. It's what makes a car a Volkswagen.
Gillette announces a razor that can sense the individual needs of your face. Introducing the extraordinary Gillette Sensor Shaving System. Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and adjust to your face for the best shave a man can get. Closer, smoother, safer. New Gillette Sensor.
Well, the 49ers won.
Yay.
Darn. So McDonald's everywhere, even in Homer, Alaska. Will honor the winners with a $1.09 DLT.
Break out the Diet Coke.
But should Bronco fans lose just because their team did? Yeah! Of course not. So they'll still get their 99-cent quarter pounder with cheese, even though they didn't win.
But we played our little hearts out.
A $1.09 McDLT and a 99-cent quarter pounder for a limited time.
We're going to watch the Super Bowl every week.
ESPN special presentation of the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl is brought to you by Volkswagen. Say the word, Farther Nugent. It's what makes a car Volkswagen. By Gillette and the revolutionary Gillette Sensor Shaving System. Gillette, the best a man can get. And by the good time, great taste of McDonald's. Honolulu, Hawaii, the Pro Bowl, Aloha Stadium. 8:08 to go, fourth quarter, 27-14.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Been working on my Hawaiian.
Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, the whole crew. Sterling Sharp will take the ball into the end zone. I don't think, and the official lets him down it. I didn't think he was going to for a second, but they let him take a touchback.
He looked over at the ref and he says, well, what do you want me to do? He says, kneel down. Okay, fine, I'll kneel down. Holy.
He'll take over from the 20. As we said before, a lot of these guys not terribly interested in running back kicks or blocking for them.
Well, that's the reason why they're not interested in running them back, because the guys up there that are blocking for them aren't terribly interested in that part of the game. Not their forte, as one might say. Artie Gigantino, the special teams coach for the Rams, giving him a pat on the helmet saying, hey, glad you caught it.
Mark Rippon in at quarterback. Dalton Hilliard is his running back. Hilliard, a little stutter stepping. Clay Matthews in the backfield with him. Back to the sideline and Tom Jackson. TJ?
Bob Sinclair, a long, outstanding career. Want to ask you the question, after you've had to wait for a while, is it more satisfying to you?
I think as the years go by, it really is. I'm just so elated and overwhelmed by this this whole introduction of the Hall of Fame. It's just outstanding.
49ers now. Pretty proud of them?
Oh, baby. Oh, my Niners. They're my Niners. I mean, yeah, in the 80s, they've just been such a dominating force, and I think they'll continue. I really believe that.
You see the way that loyalty hangs in there.
You're right, TJ, and Dave Meggett was wide open. Rippon looked that way, saw him, but overthrew.
Well, this is something that Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator, told me at halftime. He said, I want the quarterbacks to try and isolate. If Meggett gets on Fulcher one-on-one, we've got to put the ball up to try and get it deep to him, and there's a case where he just overthrew it. That is truly a mismatch. You got a guy at 180, runs like the wind against Fulcher, who hits like a brick.
But it's 235.
That's right. But you get the mismatch.
This will be 3rd and 12.
Now, this could be the break that the AFC is looking for, because it also stops the clock. Gives them a chance to get the ball back.
7:09 to go in the game. They're down by 13, needing 2 touchdowns.
Mark Rippon, last 5 games of the season, completing 65% of his passes.
Rippon intended for Fullwood. It's picked off by Johnson. Touchdown. There's the break.
That's it. Mike Johnson, he bobbled one earlier. Bobbled one 4 times before David Fulcher picked it off. This one hits him in the hands, and he manages to take it all the way in.
Rippon was going for the safe pass and overthrew it.
He's trying to go to Brent Fullwood out of the backfield. Puts the ball up a little high. There it is, Mike Johnson. Keith Jackson's got him, only for a little while. But Mike says, no, listen, I've had one getaway. I'm going to take this one all the way in.
23-yard touchdown return. That's the 2nd interception we've had returned for a touchdown, and we had a fumble recovery return for a touchdown.
Defense has taken over this game. The offense, we thought, with all the weaponry that they have, would be a high-scoring game, but it's turned out the defense has done all the scoring.
Treadwell can cut the lead to 6 with exactly 7 minutes to go in the game.
Dave Treadwell, the human one-iron. That's about how thin he is.
Puts it through. That is a Pro Bowl record, our 3rd defensive touchdown of the 1990 Pro Bowl. Nice.
C-SPAN, the cable satellite public affairs network. Decade as a public service of the cable television.
Ladies and gentlemen, please just calm down. There's no need to be alarmed. Just take your seats.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Metropolitan Police Department proudly presents me.
down. Come on. Here you go. Hey, here comes the boredom. Yeah, right. Yeah, give me that one. Yeah. Come on, come on. Yeah. Here we go. Nice night, isn't it, officers?
Hey, baby. Rock and roll is the answer, baby. Because I know what you need. Because I'm going to give you what you need.
Big smile from Mike Johnson, whose interception return made this a 6-point game, and Johnson has been involved in more than football this year. He has been involved in a project with the rest of his Cleveland Browns teammates to help find Amy Mihaljevic, a Bay Village, Ohio youngster missing since October 27. She's 12 years old. The Browns have been wearing this T-shirt and promoting community awareness in trying to help them find Amy. And especially the players that are over here, the amount of time they give to charity and to worthy contributions makes them special outside of athletics.
It really does, Mike. You know, it's their way of giving back and saying thank you for all the support they get.
Sharp and Fullwood are the deep men. This is Sharp. Leslie O'Neal got a hand on him, and then Mike Johnson takes him down at the 21-yard line.
Sterling looks up and he says, Mike, is that you again? Gosh, don't you take a break?
You hear players talking about not wanting to play in this game, but when the game starts, they want to play.
They really do. Well, the thing is the guys come off such a long year, you're physically beat up, but, you know, I can understand some of the players deciding that they don't want to come and play, but a guy like Warren Moon, he has the big contracts. They get a big kick out of it. There's the National Football League's Travelers Man of the Year for his work for community service, and the amount of work that this man does in the city of Houston is absolutely incredible. Involved in 10 separate charitable organizations.
Dalton Hilliard with a very strong run up to the 28-29-yard line. Dennis Smith, number 49, and Albert Lewis, number 28, were in on the tackle. Now, Warren Moon just works his heart out for charitable causes in Houston.
As do a lot of players. Randall Cunningham, very active in Philadelphia. We talked about the Cleveland Browns and their organization. Of course, Reggie Williams with the Cincinnati Bengals now. Councilman Williams, full-time, that is retiring. The Moon Man. Had a great career in Canada, 5 championships, I believe. Down here seeking one. That's what he wants down here, is one big ring.
2nd and 4 from the 29. Cunningham back in at quarterback. Throwing to Rice. Could not get away from Lewis. A very short tackle. They'll spot it at the 32, about a yard shy of a first down.
Now, I'm sure people watching at home are saying, well, if Cunningham played the first quarter, Rippon played the second quarter, Cunningham played the third quarter, why hasn't he letting Rippon play the fourth quarter? What happens is coaches have the liberty at the end of a game. They want to put the guy who's the #1 guy back in. They'll do it. This happened to me in 1982 when Danny White was here. I was the second quarterback pick. Danny was the first. It was the Cowboy offense, and with 35 seconds to go, Dan threw a touchdown to win the game. So coaches have the liberty to slide their quarterbacks in and out.
But the NFC quarterbacks have not done that well. They've been picked off 4 times collectively. Flags down. And it looked like the AFC jumped offside on 3rd and 1.
Well, there's Bruce Smith out politicking.
False start on the center. 3rd down.
Well, you can see the intensity level of this game just getting up just a little. The players starting to clap their hands, get a little more excited about it. The AFC senses that they have a chance.
Doug Smith is the center, 56. You saw him lean forward.
All he has to do is flinch. I mean, Randall scared him.
Doug Smith in his 12th year. He and Jackie Slater. Slater in his 14th. The Rams offensive line has blocked for 4 running backs who have gained over 1,000 yards in the season. Wendell Tyler, Dickerson, Charles White, and Greg Bell. Just a sensational group of linemen. Third and 6. Cunningham with a quick timing pattern. Meggett trying to get the first down and has it. Smith slapping his hands, upset that he couldn't keep Meggett from the sticks.
Not too many people have been able to this year.
That'll keep the clock running. We're under 4:50.
What he does so well that I think it's very difficult to teach is that once he catches the ball, you saw him square up on the defensive man. He doesn't turn to one side or the other to give him angle. He squares up, then he makes a move and can take off and accelerate off either foot.
Last time they had the ball, the NFC made a mistake. They threw the interception. The AFC returned it for a touchdown. We have a 6-point game. Trying to avoid the mistake this time. Hilliard, brought down by Leslie O'Neal, is one of the great stories in pro football. Out of football for 23 months with as severe a knee injury as you would ever see after being the 86th Rookie of the Year. Now he is back full strength, had 12.5 sacks this year, and a nice man.
He really is. And his rehab consists of walking a golf course. Of course, golf being a great way for a lot of these guys to spend their off season, if for no other reason to relax, but for him it was rehabilitation. He'd just throw the bag over his shoulder and go out, walk 18 or 36, and considered it part of his rehab.
And he sure seems to be 100%. Hilliard dragged down from behind. Derek Thomas made the tackle once again to the sideline, and Tom Jackson.
I'm here with Sean Birch, the official NFL mascot of the year and lady killer. Sean, your favorite team, obviously the Vikings. Your favorite player on the Vikings team?
Anthony Carter.
Is that what you hope to be a receiver?
Yeah.
Well, how did you get here as the mascot?
Well, my mom was taking a pair of pants back, and I signed up at JCPenney's, and I won for a mascot at a Vikings game, and I didn't know that you could be a mascot for the Pro Bowl until I won.
This is not bad, though, huh?
No.
Back up to you guys.
No, not bad at all. Joe and I are going to enter that contest next year.
That's right. I got a pair of pants. I have to go back somewhere.
Incomplete to Meggett.
I can see all these little kids going through the closets now. Mom, where's those pants that don't fit? Give me them. I got to go trade them in.
The NFC is going to punt the ball away. It will be their third punt in 2 years. That's how successful their offense has been.
And 3 of them in this game. Last year they did not punt at all. Of course, the score was what, 34-3, I believe. NFC won that last year. Is that right?
Camarillo wants to get a little work. Woodson waiting at the 19-yard line. Still plenty of time left. 2:59 for the AFC. They're behind by 6.
And we're also reaching that time of the game, Michael, where you and I have to vote for the MVPs of the Pro Bowl. Last year was a little bit, I say, more simple.
Camarillo, the top punter in the NFL this year, unloads on that. Woodson back to the 6. No fair catch in the book. Tim Harris brought him down. There is a flag down on the play. Boy, Harris really showing some speed, and he brought out both of the guns on that one.
Well, when you're on the special teams, you can make an exception. It's like a sack.
Now we'll check the flag for you. It's at the 18-yard line. And it's one of those illegal blocks in the back. So the AFC will start deep in its own territory. SportsCenter follows our telecast from Honolulu in the 1990 Pro Bowl 246.
Illegal block, number 22 on the receiving team, on the run back. First down.
Dave Craig will be the AFC quarterback when we come back. 2:46 to go in the game. 27-21 NFC.
If you're looking for a sporty family sedan,
but bad jokes is where I draw the line.
This time it's you and me. Leave the dog out of it.
Okay, let's see what you got.
All right.
They're Die Hard. It's cutting-edge technology.
Employees say getting more seductive can take many forms. Wearing
power when you need it.
For the leadership positions.
Even a split this weekend from the
Now, Natalie,
I send you... It may prove an historic event. There's now clear...
Well, Bud Light won't...
All right. Let's finish it.
Nolan Richardson at number 3, Arkansas. I'm Bob Lee, Bill Patrick and I, right after the game. Now back to Honolulu. Mike?
Thank you, Bobby. We'll be standing by for your report on SportsCenter. We have 2:46 to go here in the Pro Bowl, 27-21. Dave Craig will have to start from his own 9-yard line. Craig does not get the kind of national publicity that his statistics would say he deserves playing out of Seattle, throwing more touchdown passes in the last 7 years than anybody except Dan Marino. It's just a marvelous career in Seattle.
When David is hot, there isn't a better quarterback in the game, and he's been hot in this game.
Keeping on the ground, rather a strange call to Dickerson with 2:39 left.
They've had a lot of balance with Dickerson running the ball and then David Craig picking out somebody to throw it to. Obviously, they're going to have to use all 4 downs. You can't punt the ball away at this stage and expect your defense to hold off if you want to win it. Of course, they're only losing by 6, 27-21.
What a defensive line in there. Harris, White, Ball, and Dolman.
Gee. You'd hate to make a living against that every day.
2nd and 8. Dolman jumped. Craig may have a free play now. Dolman after him. Coleman, the Cincinnati tight end, has it. This guy can really run. And Joey Browner got a hand on him and pushed him out of bounds. We'll check the flag. It's a gain of 33. It looked like the NFC was offside.
Rodney Holman, noted more for his great blocking ability, although he had 50 receptions and 9 TDs. Out of Tulane, 6'3", 240. Second Pro Bowl appearance.
Offside. 58 defense. It's declined. First down.
Dolman. And we are down to 1:58. The AFC has gotten itself out of a hole out to its own 44-yard line. They need a touchdown to win.
Hey, you're pretty good. I'm the best. Cute.
You know, this has been a lot of fun, but afraid I'm going to have to place you under arrest.
You wouldn't shoot an unarmed man, would you?
When you're choosing your business wardrobe, selecting everything...
And the IRS.
We may have to resurrect the old hometown promotion that said Cleveland, the best location in the nation. Remember it? Of 18 major cities surveyed by Chicago Title and Trust, the largest in the country, Cleveland real estate is the most affordable of the 18.
98 yards and a touchdown, and he's got his team out to its own 44.
And here's the play. It's to Rodney Holman. He scrambles around, does a good job of buying time. Now, Holman had 2 receptions this year for over 60 yards, so the man can run.
1:58 left to go in the game. NFC 27, AFC 21. Millard back in on the defensive line. Craig with time, guns it over the middle, dropped by Holman that time. May have seen Browner coming out of the corner of his eye. Good throw by Craig.
Excellent throw, right in the seam. They spread him out. Normally you do that with 4 wide receivers. I know in Seattle they use their 4 wide outs, but here you can't use 4. So the tight end doubles in that roll. That time he hits him right up the seam. Lower left-hand side of your screen. You see him just get by Spielman. Now Craig does an X. Look at that. Puts it right there. And you can bet he had a little bit of a right eye looking at Joey Browner.
2nd and 10, 1:52 to go. Millard jumps, may have been offside. Flag is down. Craig, knowing he's got a free play, now he'll run. First down and more, got out of bounds. Craig to the NFC 43, a gain of 17, and he's pumped.
Well, what he's trying to do is he ran back right over to tell Brian Blades, listen, when I get in trouble like this, just like we do in Seattle, take off up the field.
It's the longest run of the game, 17 yards. And Millard offside again. Well, they've gotten him to jump several times, Joe.
Well, what you're basically dealing with is you're basically dealing with all pass rush.
Steps offside, 75 defense. It's declined. First down.
Tom Jackson's on the sideline. TJ?
Here with LT, finally got number 57 on. It's his birthday. Happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
Is that the right number?
I think you got too many candles on here. I'm only 31. You got about 90 candles on here, man. Come on, give me a break.
A lot of the offensive guys wanted to contribute to the number of candles.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to take them out and give them to all the players I beat next year.
Okay? Back upstairs.
Craig back to throw. He's been terrific. Gets it to Miller. Can't avoid the tackle by Chris Spielman, but picks up a few. Craig, when he gets his rhythm, is as good as anybody.
He really is. I mean, you know, he's in total command out there, too. He's waving the guys back to the huddle. He knows exactly how much time he has on the clock. Like I said, they're dealing with a 30-second clock in this game, not the normal 45.
12 out of 16 for David Craig, 123. The AFC has all of its timeouts left. Dickerson in the flat. Got out of bounds, about a yard shy of the first down. McDonald drove him out of there. Good decision by Dickerson. Knew he couldn't get any more yardage. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited. Had a good one here today, and 1:01 left, and a 6-point game. The AFC can win it with a touchdown and the point after.
The AFC actually has provided all the offensive show in this game. David Craig on a couple of drives. Defense for the NFC has made the big plays.
Dickerson. First down to the 25, and they'll call a timeout to stop the clock with 56 seconds to go. 15 carries, 46 yards for Dickerson. SportsCenter follows our telecast, and we'll get you up to date on everything that went on in sports today.
This is when you get excited on the sidelines. That's when you start seeing different players come in. They want to keep their linemen fresh. They roll them in. Who's the best pass rusher? Who's having a good go against certain offensive linemen? What can they beat them on? Now is when you start the rules like you can only rush one linebacker. That's like for the first quarter. No stunts. Yeah. Forget it. Give me everything you got.
And you also had the father and son reunions on the sideline. Howie Long.
Hi, Mom. Hi. It's one of the great things about this game is that, you know, the kids are down on the sidelines with you. You get to, it's a tough game to share with your family normally, but in a game like this, they get a chance to be a very big part of it.
Especially if you've had them in Honolulu for the week. First and 10. Craig with good protection to Thurman Thomas to the 18-yard line, covered by Singletary. Clock running. 2 timeouts left. Craig doing this on the run.
Watch this. He's just said to him, running out. Real simple. Look.
Throws to Blades, and that was a great throw because he saw Jerry Gray coming. Gray read the same thing. Throw the quick out, and he was over there in a hurry. Craig was not going to let that be picked up.
Well, he read his lips. I mean, in this kind of a game, you're basically telling people what to do. He had no intentions of wanting to complete that pass. He realizes he has 3rd and 4th down to pick up the first down if he needs it. the most important things he did then was save the timeout and stop the clock.
Jerry Gray already had one interception return for a touchdown. He was licking his chops for another one.
I got to believe that with the cornerbacks as well as they play, Carl Lee on one side, Eric Allen on the other, the way you want to isolate somebody is to get somebody in the middle of the football field.
Craig under pressure, unloaded as he was hit. Charles Mann made the sack. Let's see, will they call him down or say it's an incomplete pass?
They're going to call it incomplete.
Now, during the regular season, you got to think that's in the grasp.
I don't like the rule anyway. I think these guys are doing a great job. Charles Mann comes all the way around up the field. Now, look at him close on David Craig.
Oh.
I like that. I think that's letting people play football.
I agree with you.
They ought to take this film clip to the owners' meetings and let them look at it. Say, this is what football's all about. Let them play.
4th down, 4 yards to go. Craig throws, complete, first down to Thurman Thomas. What a catch! And what a play by Craig.
You try and tell me that these guys don't want to play in these kind of football games. 4th down and 4. David Craig feels the pressure from the right side from Jerry Ball. Now look, he almost thinks of running and then he steps up. Watch him go up in the air. Look at Thurman Thomas go up in the air. Knows he's going to get hit. Knows he's going to land on the ground. What a catch. 14 seconds to go. 27-21 NFC.
Carl Lee did everything he could to keep Thomas from hanging on.
Look at him go up in the air. Look at this.
Great catch by Thurman Thomas. They spot the ball at the 2. 14 seconds to go. Thomas caught 60 passes this year. Very dangerous coming out of the backfield. 6 of them went for touchdowns. The AFC has another timeout left.
That's Mark Trestman, the offensive coordinator of the Cleveland Browns, telling them what to do.
Trestman took a lot of heat during the regular season for the lack of Browns' offensive efficiency, but Kozar was hurt so much.
Well, Kozar was hurt, and they didn't have Kevin Mack. And they'd lost Ernest Biner in a trade to the Redskins. Yeah. So, I mean, a very integral parts of their offense.
Pretty tough to criticize the offensive coordinator.
I think he did a great job.
And we are told now the AFC does not have a timeout left. And they are trying to reset the clock. It was at 14 seconds. Now they've got it at 2 minutes.
I think the AFC would appreciate that.
And now they're bringing it down. And we'll see if they reset it at 14.
Or possibly more.
And 60. The wheel stops at 60. So they've given them 2 more seconds. And without a timeout, they've got to get the ball in the end zone. They may not get another playoff. You have to throw it here, Joe?
I think you have to throw it. You can't afford to run it because you may not get the playoff.
Fake to Dickerson. Craig throws it over Holman. And Jerry Gray came over to leave his calling card at the end of the play.
Yeah, they're serious. I mean, you know, you're talking 9 seconds for $5 grand.
That's right.
Quickest 5 you're either going to pick up or you're going to lose.
And Craig telling Dickerson, I wish you'd have gone that way.
Watch this, lower left part of your screen. Holman goes up, Jerry Gray says, no, you can't. You can't even catch it.
Rodney may file that one away in the memory bank.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got everybody coaching everybody out there now. Jerry Gray running around, David Craig giving orders.
9 seconds to go, no timeout.
If you throw, you got time for 2 plays.
Craig has a man open. Touchdown Blades! There is a flag down. Hold on. Brian Blades from his teammate David Craig will check the flag.
But it's going to be against the AFC.
Procedure, and back it comes. Now we have 5 seconds left.
Still got time for 2 plays. If it's an illegal procedure call, that means it probably moved before the ball was snapped. They should reset the clock to 9 seconds.
We have an illegal formation. Number 76, offense. Number 76 was playing an ineligible position after reporting eligible. Second down.
That's Chris Hinton, the tackle.
He reported eligible and then moved back inside. So he became ineligible, which said he said the wrong thing, which meant that the play was okay because he's lined up. See, left side of your screen. See him on the tackle position, left side. Number 92, Reggie White, is right in front of him. Now, what had happened is he came into the game to play tight end or be an eligible receiver, and he did line up at the tackle.
5 seconds left. They will not reset the clock on that violation. Here's the game. Craig throws it up for grabs. Too high for Reed. It's over. The NFC wins. Of a finish for the Pro Bowl. 27-21 NFC, and a very disappointed Dave Craig, who played brilliantly while he was in there. 1 play short.
One little bit of movement stopped him from getting the touchdown.
John Robinson, the winning coach, coming off a wonderful year with the Los Angeles Rams. Game played very well, Joe, especially on defense.
It really was, and that's really where you see it in this game, I think, Mike. The offense is at a disadvantage because they have to put in a little bit more intricate plays. This is a game where you let the athletes play, and defensively, they go out and play a little bit more freelance. They have an opportunity to move around a little bit more with a little more freedom. But other than that, I thought it was a well-played football game all the way around. We got a chance to see the finest athletes that play professional football in this one.
Sensational performance. The final score is the NFC 21. And NFC, 27, the AFC 21. For Joe Theismann, this is Mike Patrick saying so long from Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, Hawaii. Up next, Sports Center. Let's go from Honolulu to Bristol, Connecticut, to Bob Lee and Bill Patrick.
Well, thanks, guys. What an ending. The NFL season is finally over. Sports Center's just begun. We've got 60 minutes tonight.
I'll tell you, the way Barkley and the Sixers are playing, we're going to need every single one of those to tell you all about it.